I got something to talk about. I just came across this article and I find it to be very true. You guys may or may not. It's up to you. Don't really care. But I do feel like it needs to be out there. 8 ways school is making children stupid and depressed. School is supposed to help children grow into mature, conscious, responsible, intelligent adults who have mastered the art of living and who can contribute their gifts to the world. School as we know it, however, couldn't be further from that. In fact, school as it exists in most places across the planet helps only to stunt children's intelligence and to fill them with stress and worries, which results in the chaotic world that we experience all around us. All right, so number 1, it teaches children to conform. Conform. It teaches children to conform. At school, children are taught to obey orders and blindly follow what they are being told. Children are told what to do, no matter if they like it or not. They are told to sit for hours upon hours at a desk without complaining, doing nothing other than memorizing information that most probably they will never need in their lives. They are told when to talk, when to move, and even when to pee. By and by, children stop trusting their inner voice and conform to the authority or to what the authority wants from them, which tremendously suppresses them and, not surprisingly, makes them depressed and unfulfilled. Okay, number 2. It teaches children what to think, not how to think. Okay. School does not teach children how to develop their capacity to think logically so they can reach to their own conclusions when presented with information. On the contrary, children are forced to believe into things that are being taught, regardless of whether they are true or not, or whether they sprout out of their own understanding or not. Hence, their critical thinking is prevented from improving, and as a result, children are turned into stupid automations. True. 3. It teaches children to be uncreative. Children's imagination is wild, but school does want to suppress it. Children can be incredibly creative, but the arts are almost non-existent in most schools around the world, since a career path in the arts is usually not considered as profitable. Instead of allowing children to explore themselves by spontaneously expressing their innermost thoughts and feelings through painting, music, theater, and so on, they most of the time are confined in 4 walls, learning boring things that don't matter to them, and do nothing to help them cultivate their mind, heart, and spirit. Oh yeah, can't be creative, guys. Why would they want you to be creative? It teaches children to fear failure. This is number 4. It teaches children to fear failure. Mistakes help us grow into wiser beings, but school is teaching children to fear failure as if it is some kind of an evil they need to avoid. Children at school are told to study solely in order to pass exams, and those who fail exams are looked down upon, sometimes even mocked at, as if they are failures themselves. Therefore, children learn to do their best in order to avoid making mistakes, which only prevents them from trying to achieve any new goals they desire later on in life. Least they will encounter possible failure. Right, you have to learn off your mistakes. It is okay to fail. It is okay to fail. Just get back up and keep trying. But they don't teach you that. They say, do better. Do better. Don't want to fail this test. Okay, number 5. It teaches children to think play is bad. Children find tremendous joy in playing, having fun, laughing, doing things for no reason or goal other than the play itself. Play makes their heart pulsate with happiness and turns their life into a celebration. Slowly, however, as children grow up, they are taught that play is not good, since it's not something productive, as that they should consider it simply as a waste of time. In addition, they are taught to be serious, uptight, worried about future ends, which is only making them depressed, not allowing them to let go and relax into the present moment to savor all the beauties life has to offer. That's true. They tell you, boy, quit fucking talking. I'm teaching. Number 6, it teaches children to avoid listening to their heart. Unlike adults, children are in touch with their heart. However, after years of social conditioning, when they finally turn into adults themselves, they have created thick barriers between themselves and their hearts, thus being unable to pay attention to its voice anymore. This conditioning takes place mainly at school, where almost every day children are forced to do things they hate doing, that they find boring and futile, and which they are taught society will reward them for. As a consequence, they develop the habit of not trusting and following their inner voice and lose touch with what their heart is being for, or what their heart is beating for. 7, it teaches children to associate money with success. Okay, a big one for me. Another way school is making children dumb and depressed is by having them confuse monetary gain with successful living. At school, children learn that the primary goal in life is to earn a good salary and are being told to sacrifice almost 1/3 of their lives, forcing themselves to learn and do particular things just so they can get a degree that will allow them to work later on as a corporate slave. Thus, children stop pursuing their passions that would give true purpose and meaning to their lives, and instead do dull things that only burden their psyche and which merely help them to survive, not to truly live. I'm fucking big on that one. Do not do something you don't want to fucking do. If you hate your job, fucking quit that shit right fucking now. Do not be a slave. Okay, number 8. Last but not least, it teaches children to sacrifice today for the sake of tomorrow. The present moment is all that we have. The future, just like the past, doesn't exist. And we give too much attention. And if we give too much attention, we will not be able to enjoy the here and now. Most people, however, don't enjoy the present moment. Instead, they are always trying to achieve a future end, thinking that once they achieve it, they'll be fulfilled and happy, which is not true. This mentally has been mainly imbued in them via schooling. At school, children are made to believe that sacrificing today by studying hard and following orders will reward them tomorrow, being consistently focused on the future. However, they are wasting their entire lives and end up filled with regrets, which makes them experience immense psychological anguish. So there you go, guys. That's 8 ways school's making children stupid and depressed. And I'm telling you, if you don't wake up now and take a stand, they will end up being just like you or your parents. And the reason why I say you or your parents, because your parents don't know any better. They think that's just fine. You don't know any better because that's what you were taught. You went to school. But I'm telling you, that's not the move. You mean to tell me I'm supposed to work till I'm 60 and then retire? What am I going to do at 60? Nothing. That's pretty fucking stupid. They teach you to go to school to sit, listen, and obey. That is it. They prepare you for work outside of school, because when you go to work, it's pretty much the same thing. It's a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 4, blah, 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 blah. You go in, you do your job, you shut the fuck up and do your job. Don't talk to other workers. You do your job, And then you go home, you eat junk, and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up and do it again, and then you go home, eat, sleep, wake up, do it again, and then you do that for the next 60 fucking years. And if they say you do all that, you're supposed to be nice and retire. I'll tell you what, that's not the case. Most of the people that get to 60 still don't have no fucking money, still are living like shit. So what are you going to do? I don't really even know how to get around it, because if you don't go to school, if you don't put your kid in school, they'll take your kid away from you. If you do homeschooling, now you can't go work to make money to be able to provide for your kid. So it's a lose-lose situation. The system knows what they're doing. They do. They're not idiots. They've been part of this for a long time now. All for money. All for money.